Okay, so you've got your tripod set up, your scanner set up. Now we're ready to set up the project um, and your data for you to do your scans in order to get your project completed. So what I've got here is what your screen will look like when you do your setup. If you want to walk through with this, might help. So on our screen, the first thing we want to do is format our SD card. So if we go to Manage at the bottom right, you get your first button. We want to go into Service. So Service will get to our SD card setup so we can format it. Okay, when you format your disk, it cleans out all the files, any errors that you may have from previous pulling the card out too soon on a computer, something like that. But it'll leave your default folder settings, your profiles, and your last file that you did or your last project file name. Just the folder, not any of the files. So this is a good process to go through to do and clean it up so you can get rid of any issues or errors on the SD card. Part of that is you want to make sure once you do a project, you download it to a computer before you put this SD card back in and reformat it because the files will be gone. So the second step is to check on two arrows back and get into the manage section again. And from here, we're going to check on our sensors. So we're going to check our inclinometer, make sure it's level. Gray means it's level. We're in a good position here. If it goes into yellow, you're in the 2%. You may want to correct it. Red is 5%. You definitely want to correct it if you want to use your inclinometer for your registration. So we go back because that's checked. Compass, when we did your compass and you update it, the compass cycles to 360 degrees and orients north, and it'll give you this screen right here that you see orient the top of your scanner head. So right in the middle is the mirror, and this is your power button. So on mine, if I did a line through the mirror and the power button through north, that would be what it's telling you is north is oriented on the scanner. In my condition, I did this prior to the tutorial and it's in the correct position, so it's set up and ready to go. So now I want to go back again 2 times. Actually on this one, let's go back home screen. So we've set up our SD card, inclinometer, and compass. So now we want to make sure that our project name is oriented. So we go into, excuse me, get too fast here, go into manage, project clusters, and once again, your default stays and your last file folder stays. So I'm going to highlight default project. Once again, you can do this with a touch screen, and I'm doing it on the computer to get the same results. Okay, once I have it highlighted, I go down to the bottom right, hit duplicate, and now I'll get one that says copy. So once I have that copy, if I click on it or touch it, it gives me the next input window screen. So I can go to the project name and I can input the new name that I want for my unique situation here, okay? And give it the new name that I want for this new project. And that could be a case number if you're in law enforcement and want to do it that way. Your project, parent project is not normally used unless you do multi-stories, and you're going to manage your files that way. FARO scan is default. It's very easy to read, and then it'll add your 0 through whatever or 1 through whatever scan numbers. If you want to change that to a case number, you can do that. You just highlight it and change it in the next screen. Initial scan number, I normally change this to a 1. If you leave it to the default 0, it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 6 scans. If you change it to a 1, your first scan is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know you got 6 scans. So to me that makes sense, so I change it to 1 in that. So now that we've got our project set up, I can go back to my home screen, and now I can go to my parameters. I can select my profile and see if I'm in indoors. I want to use one of these default profiles. Once again, that's just your setup. You can change your resolution, quality, color settings anywhere. On this one, I'll do indoor HDR. And then from here, I can adjust resolution and quality, do 1/3 and 1/8, which looks good for this situation. And I want to keep color on this first one. If you're going through a project and you're doing in between, you're doing doors and grayscale to connect rooms. Make sure you turn your color back on before you go into the next room. So I've got all those settings squared away and go back to my home screen. From my home screen, I can do my quick check, pull down screen here. Here's my project name, so I know I named it. I've got my new name here. It makes sense to the project. There's my my profile that I selected, and some settings, including the time of this first scan. So if all that makes sense and I'm ready to go, all I have to do is click on the blue button with the arrow, and the scanner will start working under these settings. So I hope that helps get your squared away if you've been away from the scanner for a while or just wanted a refresher. Any other topics we can help you out with, give us a shout by email, ryanreiter@rrinvestigations.com. Visit our website at rrinvestigations.com, or give us a shout on the phone. Phone numbers are on there, and we would definitely try to get what videos that would help you out in the field. Thanks for your time. Hope to have a great day. Take care.